Okay, let's get into this right here. Well, you guys heard the news on the wire. Gary Payton has bent over to take the check, right? Another ex-NBA player bends over to take the check from Clutch Sports. Wow. And look, sometimes it's really not about what this guy says or what these guys say. It's the fact that, in this case right here, Gary Payton, don't you understand that the media, led by LeBron James, basically said you can't shoot? Your era was an expansion era, especially when you came in. I think this guy came in 90. Your era was basically weak. And your competition was basically against a bunch of unathletic white guys. Things of that nature. Micheal Jordan played no competition. Gary Payton, that will be you. You were no competition to Micheal Jordan, according to LeBron and the media. You were trash, dude. You were trash. You were trash. It sounds like I'm stuck on repeat, but you were trash, according to the media. You're not an all-time great. What you did in the 90s, you guys had no skills. You couldn't shoot. They even went on to say the way you play basketball, Gary Payton, was nothing but hacking people. Hacking is not basketball. Yeah, that's what they call 80s and 90s defense. Gary Payton, you can't dribble. How about that? You can't dribble. That's what the media said. So it really don't matter who you think is the GOAT. It really don't matter what Gary Payton said. But we know what the media said. You know, the same guys LeBron sent out his goons to dish you. You were trash, according to the media. And thank God that LeBron James showed up. Missed the playoffs his first 2 seasons. Won the All-Star his first season. Lost 19 out of 31 after the All-Star break. His second season, not to make the playoffs. Got destroyed by Manu Ginobili, a 6-man, in the Olympics in 2004 without one melanated brother on that team, like Stephen A. likes to say. Brother! Got destroyed by Argentinian plumbers. Finally makes the playoffs in 2006, only to blow a 3-2 lead going back home against Detroit. That summer, gets manhandled by Greece plumbers with only one melanated brother on that team, him and his era guys. He gets the bronze medal. The very next season, has no business in the finals with a bunch of nobodies. Remember, he took a bunch of nobodies to the finals. Because he played nobody going to the finals. It just exposes how weak that era is. He got to the finals. He's saying he could get to the finals, Gary Payton, without an all-star teammate, without a Hall of Fame teammate, without a top 75 teammate, without an all-NBA teammate, without an all-NBA defensive teammate. He's saying you're weak, Gary Payton. He did all that, and you couldn't. But we know the facts of it is, he got there and he had the biggest meltdown in NBA history, where nobody watched it. The lowest NBA finals viewership of all time. The king, the guy that was supposed to cure the ills in the viewership in the finals of the boring fundamental, Tim Duncan, right? It was supposed to be the king that was supposed to bring the ratings up to respectable, the finals up to a respectable viewership, because Tim Duncan's viewership had been low. He had set all-time lows, right? Tim Duncan set all-time lows in the finals. So it was LeBron that was supposed to cure those ills. You know what happened, folks? It didn't happen. It got worse. Once they seen LeBron James in there, it literally got worse. It didn't get better. It got worse. They didn't want to see LeBron James. This is his GOAT. His GOAT. The guy that was the most hyped player of all time. I mean, this was incredible. That a guy at age 22 could make it to the finals through the grueling East. Just a milestone, folks. Just something historic. But when he got there, it was historic again. The biggest meltdown by a superstar against a boring international team, really. This guy got a problem with international players. What is it? What's the thing with this guy in international players that he can't beat? In international plumbers that he gets destroyed? Ain't nobody across seas sitting around saying, gathering their grandchildren around the damn fireplace, or gathering their grandchildren, period, like they're telling old folk stories, saying that they took Micheal Jordan's gold, took Micheal Jordan's championships. Folks. Saying they swept Micheal Jordan with no help. while Micheal Jordan had an all-NBA teammate, all defensive team, all-NBA defensive teammate, top 75 teammate. Ain't no plumbers in Serbia telling their grandchildren this. You got all these international players and international plumbers telling these stories that they did this to LeBron James. These international players said they swept LeBron James in the finals. These international plumbers saying they manhandled LeBron James in the Olympics so bad that he couldn't even get on the court. And then a couple years later, swept him in the finals. And then in the 210s, beat him by a record margin. Hey, this is they GOAT. This is they GOAT. A back-to-back MVP winner. It lost to a number 3 and a number 4 seed. Hey, a back-to-back MVP winner with the best record in the NBA in back-to-back seasons that lost to a 3 and 4 seed. Hey, this is they GOAT, folks. This is they GOAT. This is Gary Payton's GOAT. Wow. You see, I didn't put up no stats. I just put up history. See, when you tell real history, it trumps all the stats that these people want to talk about. Because that's all they got is stats. When we tell the real history about this country, you can go on about your way and stop falling for religion, politics, race. But if you don't know the real history about this country, you will be held hostage by religion, race, and politics. It's that simple, folks. People want to be a part of something that they're not a part of. Right? If I broke down religion, you're not a part of it. If I broke down race, you're not a part of it. If I break down politics, you're not a part of it. You want to be a part of it, you're not a part of it. As a human being, you're not. They want you to be a part of it. This is their stuff that they put out on you, the government, but you ain't a part of it. You ain't a part of something that isn't natural, that isn't real. And I'm sitting here watching this AAU game. You know the NBA? I think it was the Timberwolves and the Mavs. You know, that's what I call it, an AAU game. This is what we would call AAU back in the day. Just do shooting. That's it. Not really playing men's basketball. AAU ball. Not playing positional basketball at a high level, right? This is what when I was growing up, this is what the rich kids play, right? They didn't come to the playground and play with the real boys. They didn't play that type of basketball, right? They played AAU basketball, where it was just shooters. Dudes working on their shooting form. And they had no other skills. They couldn't grind it out in the poster. They couldn't do that, man. Couldn't grind it out at all. That's what AAU was for little small little rich kids, right? AAU basketball. It's the same basketball that even though Kobe didn't grow up poor, but he still hated AAU basketball, he'll tell you. Because they don't really teach the skills and the fundamentals of the game. This is where LeBron James grew up, playing AAU basketball. That was his competition. The same level of basketball that Kobe said he didn't like. Why? Because he said that back in Italy, in Europe, they taught fundamental basketball. You know the big fundamental? You know those international plumbers that destroyed LeBron James in the FIBA, the Olympics, playoff games? These guys, when you talk about guys that are fundamentally sound, LeBron James isn't in that category, folks. He's not. He's not. When you have international plumbers running you out the damn court, you're not fundamentally sound, folks. He's a fake Magic Johnson. I don't know who they compare him to as a shooter, because they say he's this great all-around player. So as a shooter, who can you compare him to? Okay, a rebounder. A great rebounder. See, this is what these guys do. He's like a Magic Johnson. What I told you guys, this is an insult to Magic Johnson. 7 assists a game? A prime Magic Johnson would be embarrassed if he averaged 10 assists in a season. Right? So, just to be great and considered great on that mantle, you at least need 10 assists a game in your prime, at least. Magic Johnson was upper echelon, folks, 10 plus. Let's don't get it mixed up. So when they say Magic Johnson and LeBron James, what? 7 assists? So again, they stop at Magic Johnson. He's a Magic Johnson pass first like dude. He still ain't accomplished that pass first title in year 22. He's basically still taking the most shots on the team. Still. You mean he's more like a guy that always has the ball in his hand, and eventually he has to pass. He eventually has to pass. Can't shoot all the damn shots. All-around player. Who can we compare him to? His 7 rebounds a game at 6'9". Who are we comparing that to? In an era, really, you don't even have to jump off the ground. The footage is there. You don't have to jump off the ground in his era to get rebounds. Because in his era, once those guys, who all 4 of them in that time, 5, all sitting at the 3-point line, once that shot launches up, I mean, they don't even blink an eye to see what's going to happen. They just start running back to the other side of the court. It's the craziest thing you've ever seen, folks. Even if there's a center in the middle, this is crazy, folks. The center will see the shot going up and just take off. So who can we compare his 7, a great rebounder? Who can we compare those 7 rebounds to? Because if he's an all-around, the greatest all-around player, then he got to be better than some of the greatest rebounders out there, folks. He's got to be better than Moses Malone. He's got to be better than Charles Barkley. And it's so crazy. We say Charles Barkley is one of the greatest rebounders of all time, but I think he only won 1 rebound title. That's what's so crazy. So we go to, I don't know. So rebounds, assists. he does that on a high level, Gary Payton. And again, scoring. I mean, you could say he's great scorer when we look at 27 points per game. To me, it's not upper echelon. With the guys who average, 29 and 30 for the career, that's upper echelon. And then when we look at the fact that he has no offensive skill set besides dunks and layups, what are we talking about? I literally watched Gary Payton play, and this guy can knock down the 3 whenever needed. He can shoot the mid-range whenever needed. He can hit his free throws. Now, am I saying he's a great mid-range shooter or a great 3-point shooter? No, I'm not trying to say that. But how would he fare in this era, where you basically don't have that same type of pressure on you when you're shooting? So LeBron James don't have any post moves, no paint moves, can't shoot the midi, can't shoot the 3. Could you imagine? Because he took that 23 FIBA team, ripped it apart, told the next Micheal Jordan, Anthony Edwards, look, boy, if you want to be on this team, you're going to ride the bench. I don't think this guy could ever recover from that, folks. Anthony Edwards, the next Micheal Jordan, hopped his ass on the bench in a FIBA. Talking about, oh man, they might watch out for me, dog. They going to watch out for me, dog. Hey, sit your ass down. Ain't nobody got to watch out for you. You got smoked by international plumbers in the damn FIBA. And didn't even place and get a gold medal. Ain't nobody, only thing we got to watch out for is you refilling the Gatorade and keep it coming, baby. Keep it coming. Ain't nobody, you got plumbers out here leading their team over you. You got plumbers out here leading their teams in international play over you. You, Brunson, Banchero, who else? I want to say Ingram was on that team. What's this guy's name? Halliburton. Sit your ass down, boy. So a dude with no handles, the turnover king, set your ass down if you want to be on this team. Coming off the bench with no handles, slides Curry over to the shooting guard. That's interesting. And slides himself into your position, a guy who can't shoot the free throws, can't shoot mid-range, can't give you no paint work, can't shoot the three ball, in a turnover machine, slides himself into your position, Anthony Edwards. It says, he slides Curry into your position, and slides himself into Curry's position as the point guard. And rearranges that whole team. Because what he says, Anthony Edwards, is that he could take your team, the 23 FIBA team, to the Olympics as it was, and beat the International Plumbers. Keep all you guys that lost the International Plumbers, keep that same FIBA team. He said he couldn't do it. He said, you guys already got smoked by International Plumbers. I can't do nothing with this team right here. Because I don't have no skills myself. So I need guys with skills, the best guys with skills, to beat these International Plumbers. They done beat me in the damn Olympics in 04. They beat me in the FIBA. They done beat me in the finals. So if these International Plumbers beat me, and they don't beat you, I can't keep this same team. Folks, I do not need stats. I do not need stats. All I need is the history of the NBA. These guys need stats. The people who are losers, they need stats. The people who lie and take money to lie, they need stats, folks. So I'm watching this game last night. I told you it's Minnesota in a mask, and Luka is still out. Fat boy Luka is still out. And you're watching this game, and this is how bad the NBA has become. And look, I'm not trying to hate on this guy, but I'm just talking about how bad the NBA, ESPN, in this whole welfare, low budget, all dots connected, whatever we want to call it, has to be how bad it's become. They now have Jay Bilas calling NBA games. And some of you guys might say, what's wrong with Jay Bilas? Ain't nothing wrong with Jay Bilas. Jay Bilas is an all-time great analyst. He's one of the great few remaining at that. I don't know how he's still on ESPN. I don't know how they can afford him. But I guess they got to keep some of the good guys just to stay afloat. In college basketball, it ain't like it used to be, but it's still respectable because the players are out there hustling. The game's changed too. It's more of an NBA format, a lot of 3-point shooting, a lot of international players, more than there's ever been, like the NBA. But what I don't like about Jay Bilas being here, I know he has to come to the NBA and call games because this is what ESPN makes these guys do. They make them do all these different things. You see him here, you see him there, you see him there. That's what they got to do to keep a job. Because they don't have no money to hire nobody else. They probably do, but they don't want to spend the money. If you spend the money, then that money is coming out of somebody's bonuses down the road. The guys that sit in the office and twirl their finger. But I don't like him, just like I don't like Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith and these guys who were great and played in a different era. Saying anything about this era right here, it's weak, it's soft, it's fraudulent. So I don't like them being analysts of the 2010s and the 2020s because this is not how they play. They diss the 90s, the 80s, whatever. To me, they shouldn't be supporting this era. I don't like that. They should be tearing down this era as analysts every damn chance they can get. But all they did throughout the years was cap for this era. I know they done took shots here, but basically, for the most part, they done cap for this era. So Jay Bilas, right? He was always a college analyst, and he was always hard on these college kids. like analysts back in the day, they were hard on NBA players. Bill Walton maybe was the funniest, maybe was the hardest. He didn't care who you was, he was gonna give it to you. You took a bad shot, you didn't play defense, you didn't box out. You thought you was listening to the damn coach. This is how the coaches were back in the day. He was basically a coach. And a lot of these analysts back in the day were like that too. Because this is how we saw the game growing up. This is how it was taught to us growing up. Ever since we can remember, you know, whether you played in elementary or you played in some type of little league growing up, or you played in middle school, high school, the coaches were crazy. They were literally insane. And these weren't even NBA coaches, because they wanted to win. And the only way they can teach you to win is teach you the game. And the only way they can teach you the game for them to win is through fundamentals. Defense, hustling, what every player is supposed to do at a certain position, or every position. So once you got to college, it was for some players, it was brutal. Because some of these college coaches, some of them wanted to go to the NBA and coach, but some of them, they wanted to be a great coach. They wanted to be an all-time great coach, you know, with the Woodens, the Krzyzewskis, and Roy Williams, and Dean Smiths. And those guys I just mentioned, they wanted to be like the people in front of them. So they were lunatics. Throwing chairs, Bobby Knight. I mean, this is how bad these guys wanted to win. They were psychotic. They couldn't get on the court and do nothing. They couldn't play. That's why they were biting towels and ripping their shirt. It's just you. The young people will never get to experience real basketball, real competitiveness. If the coaches were doing this, how competitive do you think the players were back in the day? This isn't how LeBron James was taught to play basketball. LeBron James never went through none of this coaching. Does it look like he went through any of this coaching? Hell no. Looked like he went through coaching that was a coach that pat you on the back and you could do what you want to do. So we can talk about that all day. Like I said, to me, these coaches today in the 2020s aren't real coaches, folks. I've never seen none of this that I just talked about from none of these coaches today in the 2020s. And we could even say the 210s too. We can go to nobody coaches. I just highlighted you like all-time great coaches. Not all of them, but we can go to nobody coaches that act the same way as the all-time great coaches. And that's why I said these guys in the 210s, the 2020s, you can't tell me these are real coaches, folks. And the guys who are coaches in this era, who played in the 80s, who played in the 90s, they should be ashamed of themselves. They shouldn't even want to coach in this era. You're not coaching nothing. You're coaching a three-point contest with no fundamental skills, no positional basketball, AAU pickup game. That's what these guys are coaching. It's the saddest thing you've ever seen. But yeah, Jay Bilas. What I just said is what I'm referring to when I talk to him, when I talk about him. That's how he is in college basketball as an analyst. He would always be out there teaching the people by telling you what the kids did wrong on the floor. That's how it was. Or what they did right. That's how he was a color analyst. Like most color analysts back in the day, you didn't always have to be mean, but you was teaching and educating the fans on right and wrong of the game. Because they were taught right and wrong themselves about the game because they played. You hear these damn analysts today? It's only right. It's only what they did good. There's never no bad shots. This guy isn't held accountable for not boxing out. This guy isn't held accountable for not hustling back, for not hitting a shot, for shooting a bad shot, for turning the ball over, for continuing to. I watch this game, and it's just the saddest thing you ever seen, folks, because it's past AAU ball too. It's past that level, or should I say, it's lower than that level. It's lower than that level. Because at least in AAU, these guys, was taught some fundamentals on certain levels. To me, it was AAU was just dribble. The guys could dribble good, and they could shoot good. But these guys could never, play against guys who can grind it out. So this is lower than AAU level. This NBA today, when you watch it, just literally carry the ball again and again and again. And these are like some of the first things they teach you when you first start playing basketball. So I don't know why these guys do this on a high level, carry and travel, because maybe they're just not that good, folks. They're just not that good, so they have to, or they just do it because they know the guys sitting or standing on court next to them in the stripes, they're not real referees, folks. Man, what you mean they ain't real referees? Well, if you can carry and travel all damn game, and they don't call it, they're not real refs. You have a job to uphold the rules of the game. That's what you get paid for, right? So if the refs aren't calling travel and carry, then it's not a real NBA league. It's not a real sports league. Sorry to break some people's hearts. Oh, man, it's not a real sports league, folks. It's not. I don't know what to call it. If we just allow people just to break the law and get away with it out here, and nothing is being done, and the police just let them, you think that's real law enforcement? I mean, these things ain't hard to figure out. I mean, we act like these. I don't know what's wrong with people. What you see is what you get. A lot of people trying to turn a turd into a chocolate cake. I don't know, folks. I don't understand it. Just because you don't have these dummies, these analysts, tell you these things that I'm telling you, you think these people on TV is your gods? Oh, they're on TV, man. They know everything, man. If they don't say it, man, ain't nothing wrong. Boy, this era fans are a trip. They're a trip, folks. So yeah, that's why I don't like Jay Billis, analyzing, being an analyst on these games, because he's just another one, folks. That was a real dude back in the day, and now he can't be real no more. Because this era of NBA, you got to coddle these dudes. Can't say nothing wrong to hurt their feelings. It's only right that you can say about them, only good. Folks, I cannot wait until these WNBA players start playing in the league. Women in general, or what they call these women, they call them women. That's a whole different story. But I just can't. It's coming, folks. This ish is getting softer and softer and softer. And the fact is, Bronny James will be amongst these participants that will be playing women in the NBA. Why not? They can ball too. But why not? You don't have no post players. You don't have no real big men in the game. Why not, folks? This is what they're going to say. It's a perimeter league. If you don't like it, you're rolling with hate in your heart. This is what LeBron James left. Kobe didn't lead this. We talked about this yesterday. Kobe didn't get to pass the torch to LeBron James because he didn't do it the right way. He built super teams to win. He ran around the league like a damn gypsy. So he has no torch to pass. That's why everything is stuck like this. That they don't know what to do because he did it wrong. So there's no torch to pass. Like Jordan passed it to Kobe, like Magic and Bird passed it to Jordan. These type of things. We consider Wilt and Russell passed it to Kareem. It didn't get past to LeBron. It was supposed to from him doing it right, but he passed to him. So there's no torch to pass. That's why you never hear, yeah, LeBron James is passing the torch to such and such. We heard it every time Jordan and Kobe played in 97, 98 ad nauseum. We heard it. When they played in all-star games against each other, regular season games, that's all we heard, folks. You won't get past the Iverson or Duncan or Shaq or Grant Hill. He was getting past the Kobe. Sorry, guys. None against them guys, but it's on record. And basically, it's on record that it was going to get past to LeBron James. But it never did because he did it wrong. And he has no torch to pass to nobody. And that's why you never hear this. Sometimes you hear, oh, who's gonna take on, get the torch pass from LeBron? And then they can't figure it out. Like Anthony Edwards. No, he ain't a top 5 player in the league. That's the problem. He ain't a top 5 player. He's getting destroyed by plumbers in international games. The same legacy that LeBron left for these guys. Because he got beat by international plumbers. They want a Ja Morant. They don't know. A studio gangster. They don't know because he has no torch to pass. So they don't know what to do with this guy. They don't know what to do with the NBA. I don't know, folks. I don't need stats. Stats are for losers. That's why I say that one time. I forget who said that. I thought it was some coach. He said stats are for losers. I mean, it is true. Stats are for losers if you're not a winner. Because winners aren't going to put stats first. All we can do is winners talk about what happened. If you lost, stats don't matter. Hell, Brady is what? He was 10-0 in the Super Bowl. A lot of the Super Bowls he put up good stats, right? Lost. But we don't say he's 10-0. So it is what it is, folks. I'm gonna get off here. That's the reality of the whole thing. We don't need stats. And I can beat you down with stats. I can beat you down with stats. But we can also talk about the history of the game. Don't tell me about stats. I mean, does your stats make your teammates better? You can put up a whole bunch of damn stats. Michael Jordan knew that. But does it make your teammates better to where they're going to help you win? Because you hear the dumb stuff, oh man, it's a team game. It ain't no individual sport when their guy didn't get the job done. Or got beat. But then they'll turn around and say, oh yeah, he put up these stats in this game. Ain't his fault. These people are funny, man. And let me say this before I get off. You guys got to understand the way stuff is in the NBA is because of the commissioner. Everything runs through this commissioner, right? More like the manager or the owner, something like that. So whatever is being, let's just say, for example, whatever is basically being done at your work or what's supposed to be done or how the workplace is supposed to be ran, it goes through the management. You just can't do what you want to do at work as an employee, as the employees. It goes through the management. So what I'm trying to say is, when we talk about the Nick Rice, coming out in 2018, 18 after LeBron got blown out for the 6th time in the finals, and he starts saying, oh yeah, the unathletic white guys in this era, and Jordan played these nobodies and expansion there, all this stuff, right? Then Shannon Sharp hops aboard, and all these analysts that work for ESPN and Fox that Disney owns, guess what? They basically work for the NBA. So however the NBA wants their league promoted, it has to be okay by the NBA. For TNT, say, they're going to get their buy rights from the NBA. ESPN and Fox, the same thing. But you just can't go off and say what you want to say. It has to be okay by the NBA. Same thing with NBC or ABC when they had the NBA. So what I'm trying to say is, the NBA has been promoting these shenanigans in their league for a long time. With this GOAT debate, dissing past eras, dissing players, this saying this, this saying that. This is what the NBA wants, folks, because if this isn't what the NBA wanted, they would have told ESPN, they would have told Fox, they would have told TNT, you can't say this. This ain't the image we want. If they tell the players we want to play positional basketball again, we don't want all these threes. Folks, that's what they have to do. So how the NBA is ran and what's said, that's the NBA. That's the commissioner who has shaped this league since 210 or whenever it came in, and how this thing has been going, and what's been said, and how it's played. Don't think otherwise, folks. So the burden always goes on his back. The way these guys play, as far as load management, all this stuff, the things that these guys say, maybe ex-NBA players, right? When you know, the JJ Redick's, all these guys that just past eras and all this stuff, folks, it goes through the NBA. JJ Redick in his podcast can't say nothing. These ex-NBA players, they have to get word on what they can say. I'm not saying every single time they talk, but I'm just saying they basically have to talk about certain things, or they know what they can or can't say about the league that they used to be in. So all the things they do say that is ridiculous is okay for the NBA. Remember, these guys get pension and everything for the NBA. All kind of benefits when they retire. So they can only say certain things. So I'm just trying to tell you guys, the way you guys think the world works, it really doesn't work that way. And the way you guys think the NBA works, it really don't work that way. You guys aren't just saying stuff just because they want to say it, or it's okay, or it's not okay. It's approved. This is what they have to stand on. This is the only thing they have left to stand on in this era. And that's based on the level of play in the LeBron James era. And what I'm trying to say is, this game is not interesting in the LeBron James era. And how do we know that? The viewership. It spoke early, folks. Since this guy went to the finals in 2007. And the viewership has really plummeted since then. So they've had no choice but to make this league basically a soap opera, 95% entertainment, these type of things, folks. It's not about winning. It's not about fundamental basketball. It's not about nothing that it used to be about. The marketing is awful. And this really goes back to the players. It goes back to the players, folks. Nothing else. The viewership spoke a long time ago. They're not interested in these guys. When they see them on the court, they're not interested. Like when they watch the 90s, the 80s. You know, I know we had a lot of stuff going on in the 70s, but they just weren't interested in these guys. This is supposed to be, according to these guys, and what we're told on TV, this is supposed to be the most interesting era of all time, because based on these guys' skills. But nobody's buying it. They don't care. They don't want to see these guys, especially LeBron James. Nobody wants to see Kevin Durant. Nobody wants to see Booker. Nobody wants to see Anthony Edwards. It spoke when they went to the 2024 Olympics. They're barely beating Rudy Gobert. They're slow-footed Rudy Gobert and rookie Wemby. And this dude, I seen him on TV on a commercial. He might be a Zest Fest too. He might be zesty. I'm trying to tell you, but I'm gonna leave that alone. They're barely beating South Sudan. They're barely beating Serbia without one melanated brother on that team, folks. And then they had the nerve to fix their mouse. Man, 2024 team could beat the 92 Dream Team. They would dominate those teams. They would spot them. Points. Here's 20 points. Before we start, here's 20 points. The Dream Team would walk on the damn court, and these guys their competition will fall apart. Mentally. First, they'll fall apart mentally, because they will say, oh my God, it's Micheal Jordan. Oh my God, it's Magic Johnson. Oh my God, it's Larry Bird. Oh my God, it's Scottie Pippen and Ewing and Barkley and Malone and Drexler. These guys wouldn't know what to do. This will be like a fantasy to them. And then reality will kick in their minds that they know they're about to get stomped out. And then it would happen. They will get stomped out. You see, when the 2024 Olympic team hops on the floor, the reality is they're not scared of these guys. They see them every day. Their skill level ain't no better than theirs. And they know these guys play in a no-touch era. And we can go on and on. What I'm trying to say, their competition is not in all of them. And they showed it when they played them. All this is a reflection, folks. Nobody wants to see these guys play. Nobody's interested in these guys, the LeBron era guys. And the viewership shows it. They could dispatch. Like, this is all they got, folks. This is why they got to dispatch errors. We never had to do that because the greatness just carried on. These players said, okay, we're going to carry on your greatness. We're going to carry on your greatness of each era. And they did. And once the LeBron era guys found out they couldn't keep carrying on the greatness, and the viewership first spoke that this is not greatness, they had to start shenanigans. Super teams, distant past eras, all this stuff, folks. I don't need stats. All I need is the history of the game. Tell me what you think.